Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another great, epic episode of Just My Opinion Review. Just My Opinion Reviews. Messing up already. Guys, we are talking Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Guys, this is Season 4, Episode 1, titled Gangsters Don't Die. Unique endures a painful recovery, fueled by hate and vengeance as other untold narratives unfold around him, filling in the gaps leading up to the deadly showdown in the season 4 finale by revisiting events through other perspectives. Guys, if you didn't know, we're going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out as if you've already seen it. That is your warning. And again, this video will be released. It will be published after the video is uploaded to the general public. So no spoilers for you guys coming over here in the titles, in the thumbnail, or before the release date. I got my guest here, Lamont with Get a Life Games. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's game time. This is one of our top reviewed shows right here. Let's give the people what they want.
Exactly, man. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to Lamont's channel. Subscribe to my channel. Lamont, let's get into this. With Raising Kanan, it is, in my opinion, the best spinoff show from the original Power show. Season 1 and 2 were fire. I loved it. Top-notch TV. The first half of Season 3, I really loved. But the second half of Season 3, it wasn't trash. It wasn't terrible, but it was a bit underwhelming for me. I did not like the ending. They wanted you to stretch your disbelief quite far. Unique popping up at the very end. I'm just like, okay, why did you do that? Why did you pop up out of nowhere and do nothing? This is kind of annoying. I am not satisfied. But Lamont, after watching this first episode of Season 4, man, I'm back. You know, I'm enthused. I'm excited. I'm ready to go on this adventure. And one of the main reasons I can say that is because Unique is back. You know, he disappeared in episode 5, episode 6 of Season 3. And now he's back, man, and he's one of my favorite characters. And as this episode was starting off, 50 Cent was narrating, giving his monologue, just saying, you know, hey, we've been here before, but you did not pay attention to all the details, so let's go back 3 months. And I do feel that in a sense they did possibly fill in some gaps, mainly with Unique. And that was one of the main things that I really did like about this episode 1. So I thought that starting off Season 4, this was a pretty decent episode. It started off strong, answered some questions that were lingering at the end of Season 3. And I'm satisfied as a Power Raising Kanan fan. What say you, sir? What say you? General impressions.
100%. 100%. I enjoyed the fact that the writers decided to take the first episode to let us get a recapping of what Unique went through. So because we didn't get a chance to see what it was he went through, instead of just popping back up with where Unique ended. And I love the narration from 50 Cent in the beginning. I love the narration of 50 Cent on the end. And I guess we just got to put Unique in that category, B. Avery.
What category is that, sir?
Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger. I'm going to start calling his ass Unique Myers because that nigga came back from the dead. So he is Unique Myers on this show. And I got a couple of other great nicknames for some people on this show. We're going to get into it.
Of course we are, man. Of course we are. I can't wait to hear them because I know they're going to be silly and a bunch of fun. But for me personally, I thought that Unique the whole time was with Mr. Tony Danza right here recovering. I thought he had him locked up, well, not locked up, but recovering in his basement, you know, because I think they were somewhat cool at one point in time. To be honest with you, I don't remember all the details, but you know, the relationship was, you know, flourishing at one point in time. So that's where I thought he was. But no, he's with the new character, man, that you know, we're gonna get to know, that's doing some reconnaissance and all that. But just like starting off, like you said, you like the 50 Cent narration as well. Do you actually feel that we got some more information with them going back in time 3 months and gave us some different perspectives that we never, you know, got before the first time? Or do you think it was just kind of a waste of time?
No, it wasn't a waste of time because they gave us Unique's perspective on the story. We kind of knew what Rock was going through. We knew what Ronnie was going through, Unique's brother. We knew what Detective Howard was going through. And we kind of knew what some of the other characters was going through. We didn't know what it was Unique Myers was going through. And on top of that, they gave us some backstory into what some of the other characters was going through, like Kanan, going trying to find information on his grandpa, about to get kicked out of school over a paper. We got a little backstory on my girl Jukebox and her budding love with Aisha, meeting her parents. So I think this was a great way to start the season. And I am with B. Avery. Post your comments. Is this the best spinoff of Power? In my estimation, it is, but we want to hear from you guys too.
Of course, thank you. And I asked that last question that was kind of already obvious and you answered it. So my bad there, but I want to talk about Detective Howard because at the end of season 3, Lamont, I was really frustrated that Rock killed him, man. That is messed up. And not only did she kill him, she killed him in front of her son, which makes it more painful seeing this first episode because like you just said, Kanan was trying to get the information about his grandparents, about his family, about his lineage for school, for his paper, because he's about to get kicked out. He's about to get in trouble. And when he went to Howard at first, his daddy, Howard was like, look, I understand, but you can't write about me. People cannot put 2 and 2 together and find out that you're my son. That's just a no-go. You can, and then the also what he said right after that is like, I know we're not there yet, but maybe we can develop a relationship. That's all I want. That's beautiful. And Rock took that away. We already knew that they were kind of headed in that direction because Kanan has been asking questions for the duration of this whole show. But this was just extra on top of that. It was more of them bonding, more of them trying to get to know each other and form some type of relationship. And it just sucks that, they were headed in that direction. They both really wanted that. Rock probably did it too because she was a hater. I remember a season or 2 ago when she was following Kanan and saw him knocking on the door and going inside, and she was in a little van, little car, just looking like, So it just really stinks, man. It just hurts me more that Howard is dead now, especially from Rock, because of this blooming relationship that didn't get to flourish all the way. What say you?
I like old headstrong Howard. I'm sad that he's going too, and the fact that him and Kanan seemed like they was about to have that budding rekindle of their relationship added to the drama of the way we felt when he died last year. With him dropping wisdom on Kanan, saying, "Look, bro, I'm a cop. It's not smart for you to be rolling up on me in my place of work, and it's definitely not smart for people in these streets to know." For them to know that you're the son of a cop, but let's get that relationship together, as if he was going to be cool with what Kanan was doing, but try to guide him properly. And Kanan had that look on his face as if he was accepting of that relationship. And so, we all know that Rock is the definition of a black widow. She's also the definition of a sugar donut, all sweet on the outside and a fucking void hole you will fall in and never come out in the middle. And Howard succumbed to it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, man. Well said. Yeah. And Rock, we always joke around. She is fine. Her lawyer was kind of he was looking. He was trying to sneak a peek here and there. He was trying his best to keep his eyes up. You know what I'm saying? And he had a slight invitation. She was like, well, "What are you about to do now?" "I'm kind of hungry." "Or you want me to go get you something?" Opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Let me try to take advantage. But nah, he trying to keep it.
Yeah, that nigga was that nigga was trying to be chivalrous. He went in his pocket, get them little coins, and was about to go get the snacks for it. She turned him down. But yeah, old Liquor Rock lawyer, he definitely was scheming on Rock, boy. He wanted to get that Rock.
He definitely did. I'm not mad at him for it either. I was about to move on to something else, but I kind of want to stay there because they had to do with Rock and Howard. When she went back in there to the vending machine, was that just a coincidence? Was she trying to do some spying, or did she just see Howard in there and got, disgusted and, started to plot, start plotting to kill him? Because you know what I'm talking about? When she went back into the precinct, she went to the vending machine and they was just staring each other down. Did that mean anything to you, or am I looking at it too much?
That was the final gaze. That was the final gaze for him to get a chance to see her fine butt bent over And she's looking at him knowing that she's got this plan that's going to end his life. And he's looking like, should I tell on her or should I do the right thing? And she's knowing what she's going to do. Both of them had their own individual agendas for what they were going to do to each other. And ultimately, that void known as Rock, she won. And dare I say this, B. Avery, I made a couple of bold predictions last year where a lot of people dipped out on me, including you, because I think you was on air with me live when I made one of these bold predictions. And people in the comments section told me up. First one, I told y'all Unique Myers was not dead.
Okay.
Some of y'all went in on me. Lamont, how can he survive such a head bashing? He can't survive that, Lamont. He's gone. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is TV. And the other bold prediction I made after him and Rock smashed, I said to y'all, she's pregnant. And y'all was like, Lamont, you always think somebody pregnant.
Now, this is true, but you'd be right though. Did I jump ship? I think I was with you as far as I'm thinking Unique can still survive too. Because I think I remember people were like, he dead, you know? Because
No. You was with me on that, but the Rock pregnancy, you went left quick on that.
I probably did.
You was like, man, Lamont, shut up.
My bad. Well, yeah, man. Yeah, she's not pregnant no more, man. She got the abortion. That was to give them credit. I do like the fact that the doctors and nurses and all of them, they were really concerned with her well-being, and they just were like, oh, okay, next, all right, zip. All right, next, they was just like, hey, where's the father? Are you going to tell him? And, the doctor was really disappointed, like, think this, we know Rock not going to keep a child. There ain't no hell to freeze over before she let that baby go to term. But I did like the fact that the whole staff was really, trying to be there and, have her keep the baby, because, it's a woman's decision, I have my opinions and all that. I don't want to go through all that, but ultimately it's up to the woman, and I like that they respected that. You can talk about whatever you want to as far as that's concerned. If you want to give your opinion, you're a grown man. But how did you feel about the whole scene? I was gonna say transaction, but that doesn't seem appropriate. And I said it anyway. But how do you feel about the whole abortion, Rock being pregnant by Unique? Also, she ended up telling Jukebox. And Jukebox was trying to be polite. But how you feeling about that?
It is what it is. She is the true definition of her name, Rock. She is cold as stone. She's a rock. And it rolled off her back. There was no need for her to consider keeping the baby. She's already had experience having an abortion. Unique in her mind is dead. Maybe had he been alive, it would have been something she considered. And the fact that she told Jukebox comes from the fact that she went and had a therapy session in which she told the therapist that she's had to be cold as a rock because of what life has thrown at her. But at the end of the day, she's still a human being, and she wanted to vent to someone she could trust. She doesn't trust that therapist, but she trusts Juke. So she was able to get her therapy session on with Juke, and we learned that she felt like she could have had a long-lasting relationship with Unique, which is why I say if he was alive and she knew it, she might would have kept the baby.
Right on. Let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. You can give me a simple yes or no. I had this conversation with somebody very close to me that I respect, and they was like, "No, Brandon, I disagree with you." But when it comes to abortion, ultimately, I feel like it's the woman's choice. When it comes down to it, now the only people that should have a say is like the doctor, for safety and health reasons, and let them know like, hey, if you do this, this could happen. Da da da. But me personally, I think that at the very least, communication should be had with the father. If the woman knows who it is, like, look, you're the daddy. I've only been with you. I'm pregnant. I'm going to get an abortion, but I just wanted to let you know. And if for me personally, if I'm the father, and even if I want the child and it's up to her, she want to get rid of it, at least tell me, just so I can have that mentally. I don't know. This is how I feel. Do you feel like do you agree like yes, the woman should at least tell the father, or no, Brandon, she don't have to tell him. She can keep it a secret if she wants to and take it to her grave.
In all honesty, it depends on the mental capacity of the father. You tell, and if you're a woman and you know that you want to have that abortion, it is your right. And the reason why it is your right, because it's your body, you carrying the baby. If you know you're going to have a confrontation with a father that wants the baby and you tell him and you have the abortion, that could mess up his life psychologically. And if you know that this is that type of person, I don't think you should tell him. In a perfect world, the truth should overcome everything, and every dad should know. But something like that could devastate someone if they find out that they could have had a child and they're carrying that weight throughout their life. It could really devastate someone. So I would say it just depends on the mental capacity and the nature of the dad. But if we were living in a perfect world where we didn't have to worry about those things, then the truth should come through.
Right on, man. I respect that. I like that. In other words, it's just kind of case by case. And the reason why I was asking is, a situation that not that I was involved in personally, but a conversation I was having with a friend back in college is, they had two daughters. They wanted a son. They got somebody pregnant and they got rid of it. And I don't know if I think he told me that it was gonna be a boy, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. But that gave him peace of mind. He was just like, man, the fact that I knew that I was close to having a boy, made him feel better. That kind of lifted his spirits a bit. So I always just remember that, like, man, just the fact of somebody knowing can, bring some joy, to their world. So I don't know. I just was curious about that. I wanted to ask you. I want to ask you guys if you want to comment below in the comment section. Feel free.
Let me follow up. Let me follow up on that. Go ahead. As much as that gave him clarity, I've been in groups and circles where individuals who go through IVF and maybe have a baby and stillborn, or go through complication and lose the baby, it traumatizes them for life. So what I'm hearing from you and your friend sounds like that's not the norm. When most people hear that they had a baby and they wanted the baby, and for whatever the reason they lose the baby, it becomes a point of trauma for them for the rest of their life. So I just think it's a case by case basis of the individuals involved.
Right on. I respect that, man. Thanks. I want to ask you this though, Mr. Stefano. We like this character. We've talked about him a number of times. Do you think the deal that he set up with Marvin, it was successful? It was funny too. We're going to talk about that. But do you think the deal is going to come back and bite Marvin in the butt because he did not tell Rock? I don't think it will, but do you? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, something is going to come back and bite Marvin in the butt. I've been predicting that Marvin is probably going to die this season. And yeah, man, I've been predicting it. I put it out there last year, and the manner in which he stepped to tough talking Tomas, and the way that situation went out, and the way he went back to Stefano and they were sitting there smoking cigars saying that he owes him one, I really believe that this is going to cause a problem. If not for Marvin with tough talk Tomas, it probably will cause a problem with him and Rock.
Okay. We'll see. What's up?
But then it could save Rock, because he could use that favor that Stefano owes him for something that Rock gets herself into a bad predicament.
Definitely,
keep that one in mind.
Definitely. Too. And he liked Stefano liked working with Marvin because he was like, "You're such a professional." That's the first thing he said. He's like, that's lacking in our industry, and Marvin was humble about it too. Like, yeah, I could have buttoned it up here a few, moments, but thank you for the compliment. I mean, if it's gonna come bite him back in the butt, I think it would be with Rock more than anything. because she's like, you don't control, like you should communicate with me everything. We can't trust him. But the actual guy that he punched in the face, oh no, you see how afraid he was when he was laying on the ground? Like, oh my gosh. I don't think he's gonna step out of line ever again. You can let me know if you disagree, but yeah, he just didn't care. Getting BJs out in the front of the building and stuff. Marvin, like, he don't give a damn. Like, and also on top of that, how would you feel, bro, if he took this well, like you knew your son-in-law was stepping out on your daughter, bro? Stefano took that too well for me. Like, yeah, this type of thing happens. It's okay that he does it, but I just don't want him doing it in public. That's a bunch of BS. I said a lot, but what's your response to all
that? First, I'll start with tough talking Tomas. You see how tough he was talking when Marvin rolled up on him and didn't see his three racist goons, calling Marvin monkeys and saying, go back to your side of the city, and all kinds of racist bull jive, as is a stigma with Italians that come here to this country as immigrants. Don't know that slaves were here before they punk asses got here, but because their skin and hair is that of the people that put us in slavery, they think they better. And so Tomas was tough talking when he had his goons, okay? But when Marvin snuck in there after the hockey game and he was by himself, where all that tough talk go then? So I think that because of his ego and how racist he is, to know that a black man whipped his ass, and then Marvin added injury to insult. Marvin pulled out one of the skates and cut his neck. I was like, black people don't do hockey, but we sure enough will use the skates to give somebody a damn haircut. So he cut tough talking Tomas down to size for a little bit, but I think with the ego he's got, getting beat up by a black person, if he can get with his goon squad or send somebody after Marvin, he's going to want retaliation.
Okay. Gotcha. Appreciate that. Next part.
Oh, and with Stefano.
Yeah.
With Stefano being so relaxed, the only reason Stefano is relaxed because he's probably got a history of cheating himself. When you start talking about these people that have this much power and that much money, and in those kind of circles, ain't none of them dudes loyal to their wives until they get old and their penises don't work without Viagra or Sildenafil or whatever that drug is. That's when they want to become family men and shit then. But as long as that bitch is working and going like this, they ain't being faithful to their wives, and most of them women have an understanding. And so that's why I feel like he was soft on the son. But at the end of the day, I mean, for all we know, Marvin could have beat the damn Woody out of tough talking Tomas until Stefano said they went on a cruise and he's treating his daughter right and all this, that, and the third. So I can understand why Stefano would be a little soft on what was going on.
I got you. You be having all the jokes and stuff, and I can't remember one of them, but I'm gonna ask you, Uncle Lou and the his business partner at the bar, the older white lady. I know we've joked around about that. I'm gonna be honest, that is my least interested story plot in the show. I'm not saying it's horrible or I'm trying to fast forward through, but it's just I'm not as interested. But what's going on there, man? You ever think that's gonna something gonna pop up between them, either romantically or she gonna die and die in his arms or anything like that? I'm kind of reaching a little bit here, but I'm curious though, because I was wondering what you thought about their dynamic.
Well, them granny panties done gave you insight into what she liked. So she definitely liked herself some chocolate. Okay. And if you recall, she used to work with their father. So she likes chocolate and she don't want Lulu because he too young. But she says she like herself an older man, which that's where Marvin comes in. And Marvin has already showed you he don't mind smashing a snow bunny. So we might see them two get into a smash situation if they both got their beer goggles on and they drunk or something like that. I don't think she's gonna. I don't want to say I don't think she's gonna die, I'm gonna say that she saved Lulu this episode from death. And I
Yeah.
think she's going to stick around and probably do something to save Marvin too. So I really don't think they're going to kill her, but I do think she's going to get her a little taste of that old chocolate, because you know what they say: the older the berry, the sweeter the juice.
You
And
know,
she wants some of that juice Marvin got.
I don't want that to happen at all. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. And she did indirectly save Lulu from getting assassinated. Was that unique back there about to blow his brains out?
I think so. Yeah.
And even
Look
before
like
we
it.
comment there, did Lulu say, "Let me get in this car and drive it into a tree"? Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Okay,
That's
I'm like,
exactly what he said.
did he say? I would have went back, but I was trying to make our appointment time, and I was like, did he just try to kill himself? Because I don't remember him being suicidal before. You know, I remember him being unhappy, but I don't think he was ever given any dialogue to where he wanted to end it all. I didn't even know he thought that way. Am I tripping?
Yeah, he had those kind of thoughts, B. But did he, like, for example, when he got saved out the burning house last season, he was really on a low point,
Well,
and
yeah, you're right. You're right.
it
I'm
was
tripping.
teetering.
You're right.
It was teetering around kind of like suicide type of deal. But you know, he went to that low valley and he's starting to rise up out of it,
That's
even to the
true.
point where he done made up with Jukebox,
Yeah.
and he's got his bar going. And then the old girl done came all the way back from LA to visit him, trying to get him to come out there. And he's like,
Yeah.
nah, I got to
Yes.
do this. And it's got history. Yeah. And it's got history with his dad. So, yeah, I think he's going to turn this show out and he's going to be producing artists, giving them opportunities in his joint from now until the end of this show.
Did you like Jess? The chick that came?
Um,
I'm gonna come to Cali.
ain't she? If I'm not mistaken, that's Crown's sister. I mean, she's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, why did they bring her?
Yeah.
Why did they sprinkle her back in to just give him a kiss and walk out the door? You don't do that. You don't do that for nothing.
She
I don't
wanted a
know
wire.
what.
She wanted a
what has
wire
been-
or something. She wanted a wire or something. I just thought
She
about
looked
that
like she
randomly.
still
too.
got. She looked like she still got feelings for Lou. And maybe she wants that connection with him because she talked about all the fun they had in the studio. And so maybe she's just trying to rekindle the magic back with him, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. One of the things I was about to say, I'm surprised that Jukebox is still conversing with Nicole's dad, but again, this is in the past, so they would still be conversing. So, but I really do like that relationship, man. You know, it's one thing that, you know, her and the dad are cool or were cool, but the mother was evil, racist with her ugly rhetoric, calling her a repellent and stuff. But yeah. Do you think the relationship between Jukebox and the father of Nicole is going to continue past present day? Or you think it'll cease
Definitely.
here?
He's going to be a resource for Nicole. I mean, excuse me, Jukebox, somehow, some way, because he was comfortable with his daughter being gay. And let's keep in mind, this is the 90s when it wasn't as cool as it is in the 2025s. He was comfortable with his daughter being gay and being around an African American, whereas the mom wasn't. And I do sense a little flavor from the daddy. The actor doing that is doing a good job of adding a simple spice of flavor to his character. And he even said the word butter correctly.
Butter, yeah,
you know, he
yeah.
didn't say butter, he said butter correctly. So I do think that he's going to become a resource for Jukebox, and that relationship will continue.
Considering where Jukebox ended up, a monster when we first met her in the original show, I kind of wish that Nicole's dad would have adopted her. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Oh God,
You know, she's a bit old for that. But I'm just saying. I mean, we love Jukebox now, we do. But I mean, where does she end up? She turns into just an evil person, man, and it just really sucks. You know, like because we love her so much right now. You know, so I normally would not recommend that. You know, for obvious reasons, but given that we do know the future here, I think an exception can be made. Am I tripping, y'all? Y'all let me know in the comments section what y'all think about that. Something else that I just really like, you talked about it briefly earlier, is that no matter your history, no matter where you come from, whether it's good or bad, when you come from rags to riches, if you know your background, they say that you do better in life. And so it was just really nice to see Kanan going around trying to find out about his family. I know majority of the things about my father's side, but I know most to nothing about my mother's side, you know. So him going around learning about his grandfather, getting 3 different perspectives from the grandmother, from both of his uncles, I thought that was pretty dope. Especially also coming from Marvin, because he has so many negative things to say. Like he was weak and he abandoned us, and I had to raise, you know, my brother and sister, but I loved him. At the same time, his muscles felt like my muscles. You know, he would take me to the prize fights, and you know, just seeing my dad do that to another man, how that makes me feel. Like the acting coming from Marvin doing that scene was stellar. I loved it. I mean, he was so excited and passionate, and just of course, it's obvious. Just goes to show how important father roles are in a up and coming child's life, but. I really did like that aspect of the episode that, you know, he got 3 different sides of his grandfather. Mom tried to give him some too, but, you know, he was like, screw you. And another thing, I know I'm saying a lot, is during that time, Rock said, Kanan, you don't have to like me, but I love you. She said all that and still gonna murder the daddy in front of him towards the end. You know, so it's just like, you're just a really lying, conniving piece of crap. But you have any thoughts there, man, after all that?
Yeah, so Kanan learning about his granddaddy, getting the perspectives, that gave us perspective on what the brothers thought, the uncles thought, Lou and Marvin. Marvin was so hurt because he really loved his daddy. So was Lulu. They both were so hurt when daddy stepped away because they both loved him. The difference is Lulu over time has come to understand why dad had to step away. Marvin, he understands why dad stepped away, but he's not accepting of him doing that because he loved him so much, which is often the case when you get hurt by someone who loves you so much and you do something that goes against what they feel like is their complete principles. It can be hard for you to come back from it. But oftentimes people are able to come back from it. But you got to be able to talk to the people and have a breakdown hash out. Now with Rock, not wanting to talk about it and basically saying, I can love you. Love can come in many different ways. Her loving him felt like she needed to protect him from Howard. Keep him away from Howard would be the best thing so that she can protect him, since she's been protecting him the whole time Howard wasn't around. It sounds weird, but that's what she's thinking. And oftentimes when people try to express their love, it can come out in vicious, angry ways. Some people call it love, other people call it crazy. It comes down to how does Kanan define it. And right now, he ain't defining love back for his mama.
I like the way you said it like that when you said, I know that sounds crazy, but that's what she's thinking, because yeah, her mind is definitely warped, you know. So y'all let us know what y'all think about that. Somebody's mind that I was worried about that may have gotten warped is Unique. Let's spend some time with him. Because the veterinarian was like, man, look, I had a German Shepherd, man. He got hit in the head too. He came back vicious. We had to put him down. I really hope they don't go down that route. So where Unique mind he's not the same person. I just don't want to see that. I'm not saying that if they do it, they won't execute, but it's just a story element that I'm not looking forward to right now. I just want him to stay the way he is and, you know, keep this momentum going. So I was happy to see at the end of the episode, he wasn't just like, you know, acting all out of the ordinary, you know. But man, that's a hell of an insurance policy, man. I wonder how much he paying old dude to keep him alive. You know, so whenever he is got his ass whooped and he is near death, he got a phone number to call. Somebody at the page be like, hey, I'm here, pick me up. I got $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $30,000. You know, make sure nobody shoot me in the head while I'm asleep. I like it. I like it. I like it. And I like the banter between them too. Makeup is interesting. You know, but I'm curious, man. How much you think you got to pay our dude for something like that? You know what I'm saying? What do you think the going rate is to keep me alive fund? You know,
I mean, it's got to be at least $100,000,
At least.
and
Okay.
that at least 100 G's, 100 bands to keep him alive. But I just
Damn.
have so many issues with the fact that you guys are supposed to be decent level gangsters,
Okay.
and the best doctor you can find is a damn shade tree vet to work on a human being. Like when they was walking into his office, I'm thinking, okay, they got the doctor that the mafia uses, and instead I see this dude is a vet. I see Pomeranians and Chihuahuas and Doberman pinchers all in there barking at the black people. He stitched them up, got them home, and told old boy he needed to chill out. But we knew that wasn't going to be the case with old Unique Myers. We know he can't stay home. And then I just have questions.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you get your question. I want to address the first thing you said. Unique was he was not all the way conscious. Do you think that Unique had a doctor set up, or this is just something random that this guy came up with? You know, like who's to say he wasn't supposed to take him to the hospital? Or am I missing something? Did Unique tell him like, don't take me to the hospital? Or was that just his decision?
Well, you got to understand, B. Avery, when you are gangsters, you do illegal work and you do illegal things. You don't go to hospitals. You go to a shade tree doctor. And normally you have somebody on payroll that is a legit ER doctor, a legit OBGYN, a legit doctor that can fix you, not the damn horse doctor. You took him to the horse doctor, man.
Okay.
But I mean, gangsters have these people on their decks. But this is what I want to know about his buddy, man. Like, and I know I can't be the only one. Gangsters always be having these weird ass names. Okay. How the hell did his buddy get the name Early? What is he early for? Early to be the first nigga to lose his hair? Where does the name Early come from? Is he the first one on the block in the morning? B, help me understand, where do you get the name Early as a thug?
I don't know. Maybe I was gonna say something nasty. I don't know.
Oh, what you gonna say? He early to nut? I mean, yeah, but wouldn't nobody know that? Wouldn't nobody know that but him? And he definitely ain't gonna name himself that. But I have questions on how he got to the name Early.
Do you have any other questions? I'm just
Nah, that's about it, man. That's about it. I do got a question for you. What did you think of Aisha's parents when they was having dinner and they was basically getting on the girls about they need to have some college as a backup plan or something to fall on? What do you think about that?
I was very annoyed by that. I thought it was rude that the dad asked the question of like, what does your mom or dad do? Knowing that their daughter told them that she passed away or he passed away or she passed away recently. Because she said that and then she was like, she just told us. What's the daughter's name again?
Aisha.
Yeah, Aisha. She was like, Aisha just told. Didn't the mother say Aisha just told us about the passing? So it's like, why would the dad ask that? So that,
I thought he asked about. I thought Dad asked about the father. He might have asked about the mom, but he did ask about the father. You know, definitely asked about the father.
I'm not really going to have a general assessment of my daughter's friend before they come over. So there's just certain questions I'm going to ask and not ask. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember when I was that age that sometimes I didn't have it all figured out. You know, people, hey, what are you doing here? What's next? I'm like, so I'm not going to do that type of thing, you know, when I'm in that situation. But I was annoyed with the parents. Like, how did you feel?
I feel like the way they came at Juke, they could have done a better job. They didn't handle that tactfully. Right. I understand the merit of them wanting both daughters to get education because you got to think about the era. That was the 90s. I don't know if these parents are getting a feel that there's some gay love tension going on between them two. But if they are, that would further buffer them wanting to see these girls have education because we got to always think about the black woman. Let's fast forward to 2025. 2025 right now, the black woman leads everybody in the United States in education. and they still get treated like shit. You beating everybody in education, and you still getting treated like shit. Look how they just did Kamala Harris, as an example. Okay, black women have been the backbone of this society since we got off the boat in America. So I can understand why they're telling them in the 90s, you at least have to have some education to fall back on so that you don't have to rely on being somebody's concubine or be subjected to some man every whim when he decides he want to cheat, leave, or whatever. But I think that the parents handled it wrong. They could have been a little bit more tactful in their delivery of saying why, telling them why it's important to get an education instead of just what your parents do.
Yeah.
You need to get an education, because it almost felt like it poo-pooed on their dreams.
100%, and also, it's interesting that their parents, well, Aisha's parents have more of a sense of reality, I think, but Aisha's parents was not supportive, but Nicole's dad was, so that's quite interesting right there, quite interesting. Go ahead.
I got another question for you. So we talked about how Rock has a secret that Juke has. How do you feel about Kanan having a secret that his grandma has kidney cancer? So
Man,
we got the two with secrets, and what happens when other people find out about these secrets?
That was actually the last thing I was going to bring up. We can say that though. I had one more thing I was going to ask you before that wasn't as big. Before we talk about Joyce, is Kanan gonna catch a body with old dude that's wanting more money for making the drug runs?
Probably not. Probably not.
Are they gonna work it out?
Because you heard, you heard how Crystal gave just the best advice to him. She gave him Warren Buffett style advice. When others zig, you zag. And I think he's going to use his homeboy to help him do that. So I don't think he's going to kill homeboy, no.
Right on. I hope not.
Plus now Ronnie gone. So it ain't no pressure about how he run his organization.
Also, I don't want her to die, but I think Crystal is going to die. I don't know. It's just the way the camera
she's gone.
Yeah, the way the camera was centering in on her, I don't think she's going to make it out of this season. But yeah, back to Joyce, man. That is that sucks. Great acting too, coming from Kanan, because he was really concerned, like, okay, but why did you fall? Oh, Kanan, you always ask the right questions. He was really the reason I called you, I needed a ride home. Of course, Grandma, but what's going on? I got a little emotional, man, the second time I watched that episode, this part right here. Because I was just thinking about my mother. My mother's alive, but I was just thinking like, because well, I don't want to say too much, but I was just thinking about my mom, and it just like, oh gosh, how I react. How would I react if I got that news? But I want to ask you, man, is Kanan obligated to tell the rest of the family? Because in my opinion, it's kind of selfish if you don't. I mean, if you have if people throughout your family have a good relationship and love and respect for each other, they have a right to know. They have a right to say their goodbyes because you don't know. I mean, no, tomorrow's not promised no matter what, but it's definitely not promised if you get diagnosed with kidney cancer. So is Kanan obligated to tell the rest of the family?
No, because the person who has the cancer doesn't want anyone to know. And just like we talk about how it's a woman's choice because it's her body when it comes to an abortion, it is also that person's choice in who they tell. You just hope that in telling him, she also is able to tell him whatever advanced directives she wants done and whatever living wills and things of that nature for burial procedures she wants done, so that her burial, if it comes to that, can be properly taken care of. It really just comes down to, your health issues are such a private thing. And if she doesn't want anybody to know, she told who she wants to know. And no, I don't think he's obligated to tell anybody anything. But I think he will.
Yeah, I'm on the fence, bro. I'm on the fence. I got a scenario for you. I got a brother, a younger brother. let's say hypothetically, hopefully this does not happen, or at least for a long time, I'm knocking on wood. Then my mom is diagnosed with cancer. She's like, Brandon, I got cancer. I say I got 9 months or a year and a half. Don't tell your brother because he's not going to be able to handle the information and he's going to freak out. I don't tell my brother. I know for a year and a half, she passes away and, he finds out that I knew this whole time. That could destroy the relationship between me and my brother. It has a strong chance of never being healed again. And even in two, like, it's her son. In my opinion, I'm not saying I'm right. This is how I feel. He has a right to know that his mom has cancer. Even if my mom told me not to tell him, like, Mom, I'm sorry, but that's your son. Like, come on. You got any pushback there or you, I'm just curious.
Of course I do. Whose trust are you willing to break? Your mother's or your brother's?
Oh.
Whose feelings are you willing to hurt? Your mother or your brother? Who has the situation going on in their life that they need as much comfort and closure as possible? Your mother or your brother? As long as your mother tells you everything she wants done in terms of how to handle her death and all that, until hospice comes in, nobody should know. Now, when it's hospice time,
yeah,
that's when you come clean.
Yeah,
that's when you, like, right before hospice, it don't matter. You got to talk then. But up until that point, it's the person who has the ailment's choice. Because there's a reason why we have HIPAA laws, because your healthcare is such a private thing. As long as someone that she trusts, who's in their right brain, is in the family that can handle advanced directives and things of that nature, it's her choice. That person's choice.
Right on. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Lamont, also, as Unique is going around, trying to recover, man, eating McDonald's and stuff, trying to drive cars 3 hours after he wakes up. He actually thinks that Ronnie, Rock, and Kanan have teamed up or in cahoots. He tripping. We know he tripping. I hope he don't go around guns blazing like, oh, y'all betrayed me. I don't think that's going to happen because he popped up at the beginning, end, and the last season 3. You got any thoughts, predictions, breakdowns there, sir? Or what you
gotta understand why he thought that. Old Early to lose his hair went and did reconnaissance and told him it was Rock, and then had the nerve to go down Rock's deep backstory of how she turned on DEF CON, how she turned on High Post. So now you done put all that into his head. Of course he slept with Rock. He fell for the abyss of Rock, and he really liked it. And so at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be able to kill Rock. I don't. I do not think he.
Sorry.
Yep. He's not going to be able to kill Rock, man. I mean, he done got a slice of that New York apple pie, and he ain't going to be able to kill her. Now, he might do things to torment her, like kill Marvin, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill Rock. Nope.
Right on. Y'all let us know what you think. Lamont, this is a great first episode. What have we not talked about that you want to get off your chest, if anything at all? And or do you have any final thoughts, sir?
Those are my final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. All I can say is stay tuned to our channels. Come check me out on those trailer breakdowns. I will be going live again on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern to just recap with a group of people your thoughts and feelings on Power. And me and B. Avery are going to keep this thing nice and fresh with you. So come check us out on Mondays at 9 p.m.
Yes, nice and fresh and nice. And I think I'm going to be going live on Tower's channel. I think she's going to be going live on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. CST. I may not be able to make it every Sunday, but I'm going to try to pop in there, whenever I can. And also, guys, I started something new on my channel to where I actually record myself watching the videos, like an actual reaction. And so I'm going to, I have a reaction for episode 1. I got to do one for episode 2 as well. But before all that, subscribe to Lamont's channel, subscribe to my channel. We will both really, really appreciate it. And guys, again, before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery, that's Lamont, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time. Subscribe. Yeah.